A company's brand is comparable to a person's reputation. By attempting to perform difficult things well, you can gain respect. Life is too short to spend time with illiterate people. At its worst, consumerism consists of encouraging individuals to make purchases that do not enhance their quality of life. Don't try anything novel or fascinating if you can't handle criticism. There will always be a chance element to discovery. The best customer service is provided when the client is not required to call or speak with you. It simply works. Why is a frequently asked question in business? It's a good question, but you could also ask, why not? Single enterprises can never create great industries. There is space in the universe for many victors. Have an idea in mind for your purpose, whatever that may be. Whatever the model, government, nonprofit, or profit, forget it. What matters more is whether your objective is making the world a better place. Are you certain of it? Continue to look for reasons to refute that. Change your mission if you can. Two strategies exist for growing a firm. Consider what you are strong at and expand on those abilities. Or, even if it means learning new abilities, decide what your customers need and move backward from there. An illustration of working backward is the Kindle. The main expense for physical retailers is real estate. That is why the adage location applies. It is the one thing that irritates me the most. That's getting close to evil. Market leadership can result in increased revenue, profitability, capital velocity, and consequently stronger returns on capital spent. The kind of Plan B argument that says you want to be somewhere else when Earth is destroyed is one thing I find incredibly demotivating. For me, that doesn't work. This is the greatest robotic probe that we have yet sent to any location in the solar system. If your consumer base ages together with you, ultimately you will stop being relevant or current. To stay young forever, you must constantly research who your new clients are and what you're doing. When the economy is booming, it can be quite difficult to get people to concentrate on the most crucial issues. Genetically, I'm optimistic. Nothing significant in space can be started today by 2 students alone in their dorm room. Because of this, I want to use the resources I have from Amazon to create the heavy lifting infrastructure that will enable the following generation to engage in dynamic entrepreneurship in space and create that transportation system. Any project whose main focus is on advertisements has my skepticism. The ability of the human brain to match patterns is astounding. Leaning into the future is something we must always do, since whining is not a plan. When the world changes around you, or when it turns against you, such as when a tailwind becomes a headwind, you must lean into that and find out what to do. If you want to innovate, I think you have to be willing to be misunderstood. You will fail if you don't comprehend the specifics of your company. If your attention is on your rivals, you must wait until they take action. Being customer focused gives you more freedom to be more innovative. At Amazon, we've remained with 3 key principles for 18 years, and they're the reason we're successful. Consider the consumer first. Invent. Be patient as well. Companies fall into one of 2 categories: those who try to charge more and those that try to charge less. We'll come in second. Because many inventions fail, I don't think you can invent on behalf of customers unless you're prepared to think strategically. If you want to invent something, you must experiment. If you experiment, you will probably fail. If that happens, you must consider the long term. Amazon.com wants to be the online shopping site where customers can locate and learn about whatever they want to buy. The source of my motivation is a well-known type of inspiration, and because other people are depending on me, it's much simpler for me to stay motivated. I consider creating infrastructure in space to be my work, and I do it the difficult way. I'm putting heavy lifting infrastructure in place with the help of my resources to prepare the way for the next generation's dynamic entrepreneurial expansion into space. I firmly believe that missionaries produce superior goods. They are more concerned. It's not just about the business for a missionary. However, it is not the reason you do it. There must be a business, and the business must make sense. You do it because it stimulates you in a significant way. For those who enjoy reading is crucial. You don't want to haggle over the cost of everyday necessities. Your business will disappear if you only carry out tasks for which you already know the solution. I'm not interested in putting my creative skills to work on someone else's user interface. The container for the book is not actually the book itself. The narrative is included within the book. It is a product of human creativity. On the internet, businesses operate as scale businesses with large fixed costs and just modestly higher variable costs. You have 2 sizes to choose from, big or little. Being medium-sized is quite difficult. Before they could become large, a lot of medium-sized businesses had their financial foundations torn out from under them. Margin percentages are irrelevant. Dollar margins, or the actual dollar amount, are what really important. Companies are valued on how much money they actually make and a multiple of that, not on their percentage margins. Being stagnant is dangerous. We think of our clients as guests who have been invited to a party, and we are the hosts. Every day, it is our responsibility to improve every significant part of the client experience. If you do create a fantastic experience, customers will spread the word. Word of mouth has a lot of influence. If you already know it will work, it is not an experiment. I believe that, like other restraints, frugality promotes innovation. Inventing a way out is one of the only methods to escape a constricting situation. Blue Origin's motto is greater than ferociter, which translates to step by step, ferociously. Because, resilience, if you think of it in terms of the gold rush, you'd probably be feeling very down right now because the last bit of gold would have been taken. The good news is that innovation never runs out of new ideas. There are always 2 questions and 2 chances raised by something new. I believe that there is never a bad time to innovate. This catchphrase is used by firefighters and special operations personnel all over the world. It's true what they say, slow is smooth and smooth is swift. I attribute all I've accomplished in my life to that mentality. There are 1 trillion people in the solar system. Then there would be a million Mozarts and a million Einsteins. A book's main draw is its ability to transport the reader into the author's universe. The invention of the light bulb primed the world for the arrival of appliances, so the world was electrified by the light bulb. Additionally, when they wired the planet, they weren't considering appliances. They weren't supplying the house with electricity, but they were strongly considering lighting was being installed inside the house. All of our businesses should improve our top and bottom lines. According to us, if it weren't for profitability, we wouldn't be in this business. Humans are incredibly efficient with data. Although you don't need 1,000,000 miles to drive a car, we teach self-driving cars by making them travel 1,000,000 miles. If we want to keep increasing our energy consumption, we will need to cover the whole surface of the Earth with solar cells in just a few hundred years. In our solar system, we have the means to create enough space for 1 trillion people, and when we do, we'll have 1,000 Mozarts and Einsteins. Living there will be much more interesting. Elon and I share a lot of common interests. We are not identical in concept. Going to Mars is one thing I want us to do, but that's it for me. He's entirely concentrated on that. In terms of motivation, I don't think that the thought of Plan B is motivating for me. Plan B is what I need to make sure Plan A is successful. I don't want a Plan B for Earth. It's ugly speech that need protection. Beautiful speech doesn't. Because of our cultural norms, people can say incredibly offensive things. Although you don't have to, you should let them express their want to attend your dinner party. I consider myself to be, a really silly kind of person in many aspects. I read science fiction when I was younger. Shiny shouldn't become an addiction for a firm because it is short-lived. I believe that a book is evolving in meaning.